So I'm trying to, thank you for being here, first of all. Appreciate the work that you've done on this report. And I'm trying to kind of glance through it and listen to questions. And so I'm wondering about the end when it's talking about decertification.
Yep.
Are you saying that we should decertify Wisconsin's votes from 2020?
I'm not saying it, and I did not say it because it's not my place to say it. What is my place to say, and what I do believe and what I do say, is that there appear to me, without having the benefit of input from any substantive witness, there appears to me very significant grounds for such an action.
Ledge Counsel, I'd just like to ask the same thing of you. I know that we've had a few different memos from Ledge Counsel and LRB on the matter. Can you just reiterate what options there are, if any, for decertifying?
Do you want to give her a minute? Or do you want
Yes, and if you want to look that up and gather your thoughts, we can get back to that, and I can go on with
Sure.
part two of my question if I could. The videos that you showed of the individuals in nursing homes,
Yeah.
I have to say, and I apologize if I get emotional about this right now, because I have a loved one who is actually going into memory care tomorrow after having 3 weeks in the hospital. So this is highly emotional and very personal for me right now. I would say that with this individual, if we were to do a video today, they would appear very different than they were in November of 2020.
Yep.
This person has lost probably 70 pounds of muscle mass. They sometimes don't know what day it is, but I can guarantee you in November of 2020, they knew exactly who they were voting for and why they were voting for that person. And I just want to add that context to it when we are talking about dementia, Alzheimer's, and people, coming to the end, that there is a significant drop off in their mental capacities sometimes. I'm not saying that was the case with all of them. I just want to add that to the equation. And I know, and I'm kind of just talking here to let Ledge Counsel go and get their thoughts together. But I know that this person, depending on who would have been in care of them or guardianship of them or whatever,
I get it.
the person's wife has a very different political opinion than all of the kids do, and than this person does too. So, there's other pieces in there. And so, Ledge Counsel, did I give you enough time to think, Peggy?
I think so.
Okay,
Thank
good.
So I have issued memos that have been made public on this topic, and I guess I just want to kind of reiterate the substance of the memo is basically that there are stages at the municipal, then the county, then the state level for every vote count to be certified. The final step is state certification. The slate of electors that are chosen by the voters is the manner that our legislature has chosen for appointing electors. So there are some questions about whether the constitutional the part of the Constitution that states that electors are chosen in the manner decided by the state legislatures means the manner of popular vote, or whether it means the nitty-gritty of election administration. And there have been some court decisions that say, no, it really means the manner is by the popular vote. And at every stage is kind of an opportunity for challenge, there's an opportunity for vetting, but that our position is that once the electoral votes have been received by the Congress, that closes the door, that the election is then done. I have not had a chance yet, I'm sorry, to read the report or the arguments put forth here, but I did want to kind of just reiterate what our analysis has been thus far.
Can I draft off of that? Because she's right as far as it goes. I'm sorry, I don't know anything about it. Legislative counsel is right. And that's one of the things I address with a little more nuance in the report. There is a gap right now in the procedures. However, as I do say in the report, and I believe legislative counsel will agree with me, that there are actions for administrative correction. And actions for administrative correction are filed with WEC. But we have a problem here, and I go into great detail in the report. We go. This was a joint effort. I mentioned that I was grateful when I got here. I'm grateful for the good people that I've got to work with. All of us in this room need other people. And the people who've worked for me, it's been a labor of love for all the good reasons. And I'm profoundly grateful. And I need to, this was not a Mike Gableman sole production. I couldn't have done anything without fantastic help from a lot of great people.
We're
So
all
first
like
of all,
that, believe me.
my condolences upon the difficult situation that you and your loved one are going through. But I do go into, and I go into great detail in the report about the administrative corrections process. However, I do point out the very difficult procedural process that should be followed when the entity being complained about is WEC itself. Just as a judge cannot preside over his or her own case, I think it would be, I don't think it would be appropriate for WEC to be the judge. So in response to your first question, that's one of the reasons I do not say, and plus Representative Spreitzer in his first question, and then followed by Representative Murphy, in terms of the whole status of this investigation, I don't know what I'm going to be allowed to do after today. Okay? I have some ideas and I've had some discussions, but I don't know. And so I don't stand here and say, yes, it ought to be decertified. I raise it as a possibility and suggest that if such an avenue were to be pursued, I believe that the conclusions in this report would support such a process.
Thank you. I just appreciate hearing that from Ledge Council too, and I know that that has been a topic of discussion around this building of decertifying and whether that's possible or not. And it's not often that Representative Steineke and I agree on things in general, but we seem to both have the opinion that it's not possible to decertify. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Well, I think I want to clarify. I think what Justice Gableman is saying, the action for administrative correction is not a clear path. And I think the question then becomes, have we given ourselves too many hurdles to be able to make a correction? And I think it's something that with WEC being part of the process, is there a real clear path for an administrative correction? And I think, am I misquoting you in part of that? Or am I reading that wrong, Justice Gableman?
It is true. I mean, everything you say is true. And so we have to go through a number of factual issues that the statutes as presently written did not appear to contemplate. And I guess part of that would have to do with the fact that WEC's existence is not part of what most of the statutes contemplate, and they're less than comprehensive on what it is. But I do know that a fundamental precept of the law is that no person, no organization can be the judge of their own case. I am saying, though, that the general principles of decertification run to, and I think Ms. Hurley alluded to this, if they are fundamental, and it's a political question. Decertification is a political question. And the issue is whether there exist fundamental defects in the estimation of the political body, here I believe the state legislature. If there were fundamental defects in the administration and conduct of an election, it is up to the legislature to advance that cause. And then you further complicate it with the fact that the structural procedure for a decertification in response to Representative Emerson's is less than clear, and then complicated further by the fact that the administrative corrective action would go to WEC, and that just can't be. So there are a number of things, but I think one of my efforts was to highlight some of the concerns regarding the fundamental conduct of the 2020 election, and then provide that in the context of a decertification process, which I am not taking a position on. Its ultimate disposition.
Fair enough. Representative Roser, you've been very patient.